Hello, friends. I hope all is well. I hope you haven't been feeling too isolated lately. Though, speaking of isolation, have you ever wondered how a Minecraft world can feel empty sometimes? I mean, not today's Minecraft, there are many biome structures and mobs out there, but I mean through the ages of the game. Let's take a look, shall we? Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see how the physical and natural world of Minecraft has changed throughout the years. And I know some of you might be excited to see your redstone or your features, but in this video we'll just take a look at the biome structures and mobs. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we are, back at the start. The beginning of a culture. This is the cave game era. It's quiet and eerie and maybe a little bare. And I mean, it doesn't even really change much throughout all of its updates. Here in the last one, they do add a mob, the Steve mob, and a new block, but it's still flat and damp. But not to worry, for this is not even close to the end. And everything has to come from somewhere, and this is a really good job done. Off to the next era. Ah, no, that's more like it. Look at this. It's a real world now. Just a butte of land and hills. And now that the world's in creative, it's truly your oyster. Much better than before, but of course there's still more to come. But let's not ignore the leaps done here. The world is truly built out. There's now trees and flowers. No mobs here, but that is to come. Alright, next. So here we have the InDev/InfDev era, but I've got to be honest, it's gonna have to be some pictures because I can't get the footage I need to show you, so here, some Minecraft wiki photos. We're going to start with the InDev house, which is quite nice, looking very humble, cozy, and boxy. And now we'll look at the mobs like Rana, Beast Boy, and Black Steve. All very interesting to say the least, though they are missing some pixelation, so I think it's best kept in history. Moving further, we see the brick pyramid that would spawn, and of course the Farlands. Honestly, one of the features I think should be brought to the current game. It'd be very cool. And now there's some other changes throughout. Notch was testing many ideas, but these are the ones I thought would affect the world more than just a game feature. On to Alpha. That's more like it. Back to survival, just some good old Minecraft. And this is a very big update also. There are now distinct biomes, such as forest, plains, and not much else, though it is still pretty cool. All the normal animals are added, like creepers, pigs, skeletons, zombies, spiders, and sheep. On top of that, there were some new ones added, the cow, and the chicken, and the slime, but I couldn't find one when making the footage, so just pretend that it's on screen, thank you. Some of the most important and historical mobs, I'll say. Oh, and I almost forgot, gas and zombie pigmen were added, so I'm sure you know what else was added. The Nether. Very hot and now dangerous, with the gas and zombie pigmen and all. But very important all the same. And all, I'd say this is probably the most important era of them all. I know the end comes later, but this is really just the beating heart of what this game is all about. Onward! Look at that, we made it. We're almost there, almost to the official start of Minecraft. See here, they're just working out the last few details, because in Alpha, they laid out most of the groundwork. And now it's just the finer bits of life. Lots of new mobs are added, like the squid, the enderman, silverfish, cave spider, and dogs. Not to be confused with wolves, much different. Just some good old life being breathed into the game. And finally, structures. The game now includes the village, the end portal room, and the mineshaft. We almost have the end, just not quite yet. The portal room doesn't exist in this update, but we still get the structure. And if you mine the walls a bit, the silverfish will spawn. Nasty little buggers. The mineshaft is quite nice to look at and explore, but I'd say the most important is the village. Now, no villagers yet, but still, it really shapes the landscape. It's the first permanent building in the game, and it will become a staple of the game. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, 1.0. The game has officially started, and it's so exciting. We have it all now. A plethora of mobs, including the mushroom, chick, baby cow, piglet, baby sheep, Blaze, Ender Dragon, Magma Cube, and finally the Villager. All are great. All will make the world more alive. But that's not all. We also get some cool biomes, including the Frozen Ocean, Frozen River, Ice Mountains, and Ice Plains, and of course, with the Mushroom comes the Mushroom Islands. Now to one of the most impactful additions of the game, the end. Not as in leaving, but as in beginning. Beginning, the end of the game. Endermen now have a home, and the game has an end. As in finishing. A whole new place to explore and create. Very cool. And of course, this also comes with the End Portal Room and the Nether Fortress. Nothing much to say, very important, very impactful, very likely you'll all have seen it. Very cool. Now let's just rattle off the next few. Alright, so 1.1 brings us some new biome revamps. Beaches, Desert Hill, Extreme Hill, Edge, Forest Hill, and Taiga Hill. Not all noticeable, but still great to blend the world out and to stop any sudden changes between biomes. 1.2 will introduce the Iron Golem and Ocelot. These are very interesting classics of the game, very much so with the Iron Golem, which introduces the most used farm, I'd say, but then that's outside of this video. Furthermore, we get the Jungle Biome and the Desert Well. I'll let you decide which one is more important. Please put the Desert Well in the comments, I think it's cool. 1.3 brings us some more buildings like the desert villages, desert pyramids, and jungle temples. These are the core of the game. For sure, the desert pyramids were a classic way to get early loot on and subtly taught everyone to not follow the most obvious path. So 1.4 was quite the scare, as some of you know, as now we're on the Pretty Scary update, which brings us some new mobs as the Bat, Witch, Wither Skeleton, Zombie Villager, Baby Zombie, and Baby Zombie Villager, and of course the Witch Hut. A great update all in all, bringing us some much needed variety in our adventuring foes, great challenges. And 1.5 is let me see here, Redstone. Nothing much as pertains to the physical world, mostly some technical jargon for another video. Onward we see 1.6, which is the horse update, which you'll never guess what it brings us. Horses. And donkeys, and mules, and skeleton horses. Not a grand update to the environment, but an important milestone as the world is now more unlocked and traveled. Now, the next update is quite the important one. Some say it changed the world. This is the update that changed the world. Quite on the nose with that one. In this update, we get some new biomes, just a few, like the Birch Forest Hills, Cold Beach, Cold Taiga Hills, Deep Ocean, Extreme Hills, Far Forest, Ice Spikes, Jungle Edge, Mega Taiga Hills, Mesa Plateau, Roof Forest, Savannah Plateau, Stone Beach, Sunflower Plains. Quite cool. Though in all seriousness, this is quite the change for world generation. Now there are many more transitions between biomes, and a variety of biomes and places to explore. The world is now truly settled into the unique shape it will become. Truly a great update. 1.8 is called the Bountiful Update, which I'm sure brings us much more content to the game. Let's see here. We get the Endermite, Guardian, Elder Guardian, Rabbit, and Ocean Monument. And the list seems to be cut off somewhere. Not much added to the world. I think they lied about the bountiful part. Though the Ocean Monument is quite groovy, so I'll let it slide. 1.9 is I think this update is quite controversial, being the combat update and all, so we'll just slide past this one. On to 1.10. 1.10 is the Frostburn update, which brings us, as you may expect, some cold mobs as the Polar Bear, the Stray, and the Husk. That seems like a hot mob, but and there's a structure. It's the Fossil, which only spawns in deserts. Well, I guess that's where the burn part of Frostburn comes into play. These are some cool mobs. 1.11 is the Exploration update, which of course brings us a new biome, such as the... there's no new biomes in the Exploration update, which I guess makes sense. But we do get the Llama, Evoker, Vex, and Vindicator, making some new enemies, which is of course most welcomed, and I'm including the Llama too. Shifty little guy he is. And also, the Woodland Mansion is brought into the game. Very fun. Alright, what's next? Here it is. Parrot. I think 1.12, the World of Color update, brings us the Parrot. 1.13, the Aquatic update, brings us another big update. For mobs, we get the Phantom, Dolphin, Turtle, Drown, Cod, Salmon, Pufferfish, and Tropical Fish. For structures, we get shipwrecks, icebergs, underwater ruins, buried treasure, and coral reefs. And for biomes, we get warm, lukewarm, cold oceans, deep oceans, frozen oceans, highlands, midlands, barren, and small islands. This is a fantastic update. So many features added, so much content. The ocean is now truly alive to explore and look at. Yeah, it's simply not just water anymore. It's a whole realm to look at. It's all great. Nothing to complain about. What about the Phantom? Like I said, nothing to complain about. No, the Phantom's bad. Onward. 1.14 is of course the Village and Pillage update, which though is much more aimed at adjusting the villager system, still brings us some additions such as cats, pillagers, ravagers, pandas, foxes, wandering traders, and trader llamas, with the pillager outpost as the one structure added. Now, some new enemies are nothing to complain about, and the pandas are simply just the best, but not the biggest update as it comes to the cosmetics of the world. Though, of course, this update was a revamp of the whole villager system, so I shan't whine. 1.15 is quite the buzz of an update. This update is called the Buzzy Bees update, which of course brings us the most cutest and humble mob, the bee, along with its most gorgeous home, the beehive. I do say it may be the most important update to date. I can't see how the world will be able to survive without such a great update and change to the game. Sadly, I must move on in the video, but I do hope the bee knows I will be saddened to be apart from it for so long. Farewell. 1.16 is the Nether update, which brings us the Piglin, Strider, Zoglin, Hoglin, and Piglin Brute. For structures, we get the Bastion Remnant, Bastion Pillar, Rune Portal, and Nether Fossil. And some new biomes with the Soul Sand Valley, Crimson Forest, and Warp Forest and Basalt Delta. This is a fantastic update which brings such life to the barren wasteland. That is the Nether. An update that is much needed. The mobs bring us new foes, which as I've said before, is always a good thing, and the biomes just help with the story of Minecraft. Not much else to say. It's pure cinema. Alright, on to the tricky ones. As some of you know, 1.17 and 1.18, the Caves and Cliffs update were supposed to be just one update, but then got delayed for some reason, so now we just have to combine them for this little segment. These updates brought us the axolotl, glow squid, and the goat, with the amethyst geode being the only structure-like thing. The biomes for here are where the change really happened. The biggest was the height change, with the Y level now ranging from -64 to 320, with the mountain biomes now being meadowed, groved, snowy sloped, jagged peaked, frozen peaked, stony peaked, along with two cave biomes, the dripstone cave and the lush caves. So much now. The cave revamp and biomes of course are all really well done. They are much more natural looking and just as expansive. The mountains too now look like actual mountains and not just some tallest hills. The mobs and geode are of course neat, but the main focus will always be pulled to the terrain changes. On to 1.19, which is the wild update, a crazy update as some of you may know. The mobs brought to us here are the allay, frog, tadpole, and the new boss, the warden. The new biomes are the deep dark and the mangrove swamp, which of course brings the ancient city being placed in the deep dark. Another fine update. Not as huge as the previous one, but still great. Another cave biome and cave structures are always good, and the main deal of this update, we finally have a new boss. For so long it had just been the Ender Dragon, the Wither, though it can't spawn naturally so it's not in this video, and the Elder Guardian, which I guess is a boss. But the Warden is a huge addition and truly feels like a hardened boss to face. And more enemies will never be a bad thing. Of course, the rest just makes the world feel more fun and alive. 1.20 is the Trails and Tales update, bringing us the camel, sniffer, and the armadillo with the trail ruins as the structure and the cherry grove as the new biome. We also find a new wolf variant in this update. Not gonna lie, this is a little bit of a letdown from the last update. Just seems like an update to simply push out an update. The archaeology is neat, but just kind of feels gimmicky and nothing I would really purposely try to do. More life, more places, always good to explore, but this update just doesn't do it for me. You may disagree with me about anything in this video below in the comments. And also, if you'd be so kind as to let me know if this is a good video, or if I missed anything and can improve on. Thank you. Lastly, we get 1.21 update. Tricky Trails, I think they have something for alliteration going on, which strayed from the usual release cycle and gave up features spreading throughout the sub-updates instead of all at once. But all in all, we got the Bogged, the Breeze, the Creaking, the mob variants of the chicken, cow, pig, and the Happy Gas with the Gasling. We also gained the Trial Chambers with the new biome, the Pale Oak Garden. Now each of the sub-updates add just a little, but all combined together I think it is a nice bunch of surprises for all of us. I do enjoy the variants that they added, breaking up the monotony of the world, and of course, say it with me, new enemies are always a good thing for the world. And who can say no to the little baby Ghast? What a cutie. The Trial Chambers are a nice new side quest to the world, and the Pale Oak brings us some much needed spooky vibes to the game. All in all, I would give this a thumbs up. Okay, side note, I did see the recent Copper update along with the vertical slab stuff, but it's being quite far into making this video and I just couldn't quite fit it in, so I hope that it is cool that I just mentioned it here. The end. If you made it this far, thank you. I know we've covered a lot, from the literal nothingness of the cave game all the way to the current set, which is overflowing with features. The game has changed for sure, for better for worse. The world of Minecraft is never static. If you liked this video, I encourage you to leave a like and a comment. If you feel as though I missed anything, please let me know, and subscribe if you wish. Thank you, and good night.